Well, hello.
Jason, your face has hair on it.
It does. It does.
You're on leave, right?
Pure laziness. Yeah, this is about 6 good weeks of growth right here.
Oh no, I'm in group now, guys. I gotta grow it out.
Yeah, you guys didn't know I'm special forces. No.
What's everybody been up to? This is a woodworking podcast.
Yeah, woodworking-ish.
I've done 0 woodworking.
Wow.
Okay, let's talk about it, Ben, because
you know what I have done a lot of?
Schoolwork.
Oh, riding the motorcycle. Here we go.
A lot of motorcycle riding.
I want to hear what you've been up to. You're going to say nothing, but I guarantee you're going to talk for like 30 minutes.
Perfect weather, but it's getting there. I'm ready for winter to leave. I haven't been doing anything. Schoolwork, it's finals. I have all of my finals and like projects and stuff are due next week. Next week are most of my classes. It'll be like the last week that I have to physically go to class. A couple of projects are due the second week of April. But for the most part, I'm almost done. As we're recording this, I'm in the middle of trying to finish up a whole bunch of other schoolwork and stuff, and haven't had any Etsy orders since last week. But yeah, schoolwork, and obviously riding my motorcycle, which I can do on the way to school. That is all that I've been doing. Just hunkering down, just trying to get through school. I ordered my cap and gown last night for graduation.
You're not going in a light blue tuxedo?
It's the orange one.
Oh, okay. You're definitely more of a Jeff Daniels kind.
Yeah. But that's all I've been up to. I haven't really been doing any woodworking. Except, and this was like maybe a week and a half ago, I made this story because I got so pissed off at the plastic ABS cup that comes with
I wanted to talk about
Fuji Q5. Okay. They sent me a new one. I haven't tested it out yet. So for those that don't know, about a week and a half ago, I was spraying some stools I needed to ship out. I had 3 of them that I needed to ship. And whenever you order most of the Q5s with the T model gun, it comes with this like plastic ABS gravity cup. And ever since I got this thing, the lid leaks. Like you close it all the way and it doesn't matter. It's going to leak. And so many times I would go to spray some pieces and I would get drips on, I would lay down an entire coat and then I go and look and there's like a couple drips on it. So I had to like wipe them off, refinish it. And I just had it. This has been going on for months since I've had this thing. I'm thinking, okay, maybe I'm doing something wrong. Maybe I'm tightening the lid on crooked because it's such a hassle to like even get it on. And I was like, okay, maybe it's just me. This is my first, sprayer that I've ever had, with the exception of like a cheap Walmart or Lowe's one that you can pick up. And so I like put it into storage because I was just so freaking tired of it. And like I paid $1,500 for this sprayer, and it comes with this really cheap cup. Or for me, in my experience, it came with this cup that just leaks everywhere. And like I can kind of understand the product push behind it, where I'm sure that they expect most people that order this unit, which is one of their most expensive, I guess it would be like a mid-tier unit. I'm sure that they have more expensive, like really professional stuff. But I'm sure that they expect people to either already have a different cup, like to pair with it. And they just expect no one to even use this thing. But like I got on and I was pissed off. I was like, look, if someone's paying $1,500 for this system, it should come with a cup that doesn't leak when you try to use it. And so I tagged them in all the stories, and I was like, I wasn't just berating the company, I was just berating this stupid gravity cup that came with it. And so they saw my stories.
Yeah.
Fuji saw my stories, and they reached out and they said, "Hey, give me your address." Whoever it was that manages their Instagram account, they said, "Hey, give us your address, and we'll fix it." And so they sent me a brand new cup, and it's the same cup, but the actual lid it's different. It's like a different material. And so again, I haven't used it yet. I'm not going to comment on whether or not it works well. I would say that the new cup that they sent me, the lid goes on infinitely better than the first one ever did. So I don't know if it's just they had some bad materials whenever they, these cups are made by someone else, and like I don't know, but I just know that the new one they sent me, you can look at it that the lid is different material than the actual cup itself, and so we'll see if it works.
In college, I had a cup that dripped when I took a leak. Is that kind of the same?
God, you're so stupid.
No. Wait for it. No. Okay. Moving on.
Why is he back, Jason? Last week it was just me and you, Jason. God,
yeah. I'm glad that he's back. Makes it more fun. No, I wanted to talk to you about that. I meant to actually write you because I watched all those stories and I was like, ooh, someone's poking the bear, right? And I was curious.
But that's a good company.
Well yeah, and it is. And again,
if they
reach out to you.
I spoke highly of Fuji. I love that turbine. It is a great unit, the Fuji Q5 Platinum. It's a great unit. The gun is great. The T model, it's a great gun. But that stupid cup. And like I didn't mean to poke a bear, but when someone pays $1,500 freaking dollars, I would expect to get a product that doesn't leak the first time that I use it.
All right, you say this all the time. I want to unpackage that. Ben, I want to unpackage what you just said. Ooh. So that comment that you just made, I feel like that goes back to a conversation that we've had on this podcast multiple times about the immediate disdain and anger associated with a problem that happens with something you spent ample amounts of money on, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the example that we had given in the past was the Capex, right? You hear all these negative things about a Capex, right? Oh, the motor burned up. I bought this and it was whatever. Hold on, Ben. Hear me out.
No, I'm just.
And so that's the funny thing about it is that, like what you just said, I paid a lot of money for this. I expect it to be good. So my question is, before you actually, now I'll say the next part after. Before you did those stories, did you reach out to Fuji first?
No, I didn't.
So that was a heat of the moment reaction.
I wouldn't say that it was a heat of. Oh, yes, technically, yes, it was. However, that was a heat of the moment reaction that I had 15 other times before that. You know what I'm saying? And again, and maybe I need to go back and watch the stories because I'm pretty sure they're saved to your account. And I made sure that I gave them a criticism sandwich, right? You got the 2 pieces of bread, you got the meat in the middle. The 2 pieces of bread, those are positive things that you say. The meat in the middle, that's the complaint. So I'm almost positive
you did
that I went into it with a criticism sandwich. It was a delicious criticism sandwich.
You did, but for something that's happened 15 times, and first of all, I want to make it very clear. I am not affiliated with Fuji. I don't even know. I own a Fuji T model gun, which I want to talk about, Ben. Same exact cup that you had issues with. Mm-hmm. I want to share my experience with it because it's it relates to this. But with all those different attempts and like never reaching out, like why didn't you never reach out to them if you were having the problem?
Just got a little reaction.
Fair enough.
Like, okay,
again, I'm not saying it to criticize you. I just think this is a good conversation.
I think it's really great to retrospect on this. what really pissed me off is that because it didn't ruin a piece, it just meant that I had to go back and do something over. But at the end of the day, that cost me money, you know, and not just money that that I spent on the unit itself, like on the finish that I'm using. I had to go back, completely wipe off this entire piece, because the drip was just I had already had so much on there that for me to just like wipe off this little drip mark, it would just ruined it. So I had to go back, clean this thing off, and like at this moment, Jennifer's here. I've got the girls with me. I have to get this product shipped within a certain amount of days, and so I'm like, you know, trying to not be downstairs too long, or only be in the shop long enough to where I could get this coat sprayed on and I can come back upstairs and then spend time with everybody. And so not only did this cost me, and not just today, this has been in the past as well. Not only did it cost me my time and my money, it just was a continual problem no matter how much I clean this thing. So yeah, very much heat of the moment. However, again, I think that if you're spending that much money, that the product shouldn't that shouldn't happen. Maybe their product testing, you know, their process is not what it should be. I don't know.
Right.
But those three reasons, it cost me money, it cost me time, and it's been repeated. That was enough for me to just not even want to reach out to them. And again, I don't think that I blasted them, but I let people know, like, hey, if you're going to order this, just kind of be aware that this may be a problem, you know?
Right.
So,
yeah.
So I have the T model. Sedge, you have the Erlex, right?
I have an Erlex, but I also spray quite a bit with a Graco edge gun that I really like, but that's the one at work, and I'll spray a lot of stuff for work here. And
you don't have the
I've had
Fuji,
great
right?
results with it. No, not at all. I'm going to be next summer. I'll be reaching out, checking out Apollo, Fuji, whoever. I'd really like to get a Fuji, but you never know. Companies are starting to reach out to me now, so
yeah,
you know.
I have the T model. Said you saw it, I think, when you were over here, but
like Buffalo Wild Wings, are they reaching out to you, Sedge?
Wingies.
This episode's brought to you by B-Dubs.
I also have the T model.
Oh my God.
And I have experienced...
Out of the 9.
Go ahead, Sedge.
No, I'm good. Go ahead.
That was a big gulp.
Yeah. I
still on PTO.
I have had the same issue a couple of times, and what I found is that, and I know you already covered this, and that it wasn't typically. I'm very bad about cleaning out my gun, which is the next thing that I'm going to say is going to be very funny because it's proof. But it's typically because I didn't clean the lid good enough, and there was like the seal wasn't good, and I would take it off, clean it, scrub it out, make sure enough there was like polyurethane or something in there, but and then it would seal, or I screwed it on slightly cockeyed, and it'll allow it to do that, which is really frustrating. However, on the desk, I actually ruined my cup because I sprayed that. Yeah, I sprayed the Sherman-Williams Chem Aqua, the pigmented lacquer, and I got lazy when I got done, and I let it sit in the cup for, I don't know, like a week. But what ended up happening is when I was spraying that last one, I was getting leakage out of the top of the gun. And what ended up happening is because I left it in there like an idiot, it actually dried. So the lid to the cup is on there. I can't get it off.
Damn.
So I actually have to buy a replacement. But when I do, I mean, I'm sure I could probably get it off somehow, but I've tried a lot, but it leaked. So it's all of that finish and stuff is around the inside ring of that cup. And that's what's actually bonding it together now. So it's kind of a bummer.
Get you
I don't deserve to own a sprayer because I am just so lazy with it.
don't be lazy. Clean that gun. It takes less than 5 minutes.
Well, what's funny is that this is a perfect example
Ah.
of if you just took the 5 damn minutes to clean the
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Because when I don't clean it and then I'm like, I need to use this and it's dirty, I clean it for like an hour because I'm trying to get all the gunk and everything else out of there.
Clean it right away, man.
You
I
know,
think I
and
learned my
listen,
lesson.
how much is that new gun gonna be, right?
yeah, a couple hundred.
Man, don't waste your coin. Get it
You know,
done. Now, but at least you admitted it was your fault. You right?
Oh, yeah.
And so learn from that.
I was a dad.
God.
I've found that
Yep.
right now.
No,
whenever
I
it
don't want to say yeah, but
whenever it comes to finishing, that I really have to stop doing everything else or get everything done so that I can, like, finishing should be its own discipline. Like, I don't even think it should be considered woodworking. Like, you should do all of your other woodworking tasks or, get it all out of the way. And then whenever it comes to finishing, that's all you do. Because what I try to do is I'll be like, okay, I can throw coat on this real quick. And then while that's drying, I can go over here and do this. And I just start adding up other things whenever coats are drying, woodworking related, and that kind of leads me to what you did, Jason, to where you just only feel like finishing or cleaning the gun. I made that mistake before, and I wouldn't do it again, just because I was going to finish a project or finish an order, and the gun just obviously was caked up with polyurethane. So it's like, okay, like this is frustrating because I'd already filtered and poured in some finish, and I was like, okay, well, I'm never going to do this again. And so now, even in between coats, I'll only pour what I think I probably need to lay a coat down, and then once that's done, I pour it back into a container, throw some water in there, and I just sit there and spray. I do that twice, so like 2 rinse cups, and then I put it away. And then by the time, I put the gun down to let it kind of air dry, whatever, it's time to do the next coat. And that may be too much extra, but that's like what I have to do to make sure that I dedicate the time to clean the gun every single time. Even though I know I don't need to, especially when I'm doing multiple coats on the same project. And I may be able to get away with it with leaving it in now that it's starting to get summertime and it should dry a little bit quicker. But during the winter months, it took forever for it to dry in my basement.
You were cleaning it out between coats?
I'm
Oh,
telling you, man,
Like
like,
a cow.
No way, dude.
well, look, so
That's dedication.
with the projects that I do, I pre-finish all of my stools before I cut them. So I cut them down into only the material that I need, like one complete section. I edge band it, sand it. I spray, I coat all sides of it because this helps me. It lets me assemble quicker. It is a breeze to clean up glue off of pre-finished plywood. Because I can't completely assemble when I fabricate all of my stools, I can only do the sides and the bottom, and then because the tops of my stools, people can engrave them if they want. That's part of the order, if they choose to. And so I have all these 3 out of 4-sided assembled stools in my basement, and then someone makes an order. All I have to do is engrave the top, assemble it, glue it, let it dry, throw on 1 extra coat, and then I can ship it. And that's how I'm able to ship, like within a couple of days of an order coming in.
Oh, cool.
So it is a lot of extra, but it actually helps me get products out faster, as opposed to just assembling them and then trying to spray in creases, and also that to me it helps make a better product when I do that. Even though, and I said that is an extra step, and I know that most people are just kind of like, oh, well, you don't need to do that. I've already tried other ways, and doing it this way
What works for you?
Yeah, it helps me make a better product, even though it is a bunch of extra steps, but it is what it is. Because I don't want to have to because at the moment I have to partition my time out between the girls, school, orders, podcasts, all this other stuff. And so maybe whenever I'm done with school, I can maybe not do that because I can just focus. Like if I said, okay, well today I'm just going to do stools. That's all I'm going to do today. I could probably just leave it in between coats, leave it in the gun between coats because I'll have the time dedicated to do that. But
Can I ask you a question about your stools real quick?
no, I would want you to just shut the hell up is what I want you to do.
Wow.
What?
Can you give me a percentage of people who engrave the stools versus don't engrave them?
It's probably 25% engrave.
So do you have any stools that are fully made right now without like
Mhm.
ready to be shipped?
Yeah. I have about a third. I just fully assemble.
Okay. I was just curious. I'm like, you don't wait until somebody orders it and then glue it up and risk that they don't even want it engraved. That's like a total waste.
Well, no, so that's why. So the top is what's engraved, right? Like I engraved my logo in the bottom of all of them, and so when because I make all of my stools at once. I buy an entire sheet of plywood. I cut everything down. I get it all ready. I pre-finish it, and then I cut the stools. I assemble the sides and the bottom. Those get glued.
Right. Yeah, I understand that. I was
Yeah.
just wondering if you didn't fully assemble any of them. And as soon as somebody makes an order, they're like, I don't want it engraved. And then you finish it. And I'm like, that
No,
would
no.
be silly.
When they order, I have two different SKUs. I have a SKU for no engraving, and I have a SKU for engraving. So as soon as they get an order, when they're placing an order, they choose the option of whether it's going to be engraved or not. And there's they have to enter in a name in order for them to be able to submit the order. So there's no possible way for them to like mistakenly not ask for an engraving, if that makes
But
any
you
sense.
have already fully ready to go, completely built stools.
A few, yes.
Okay.
A few.
Interesting.
Mhm.
Well, who's up next?
You are.
Yeah, Jason, what have you been up to?
Oh
That's
my
not
gosh.
woodworking.
So we did the podcast last week without Mr. Sedgley, unfortunately. And then I went to JLC the next day, Rhode Island, which is very cool. I actually kind of wish
that stands for Jersey Liquidators Conference.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
Correct.
Yep.
Correct.
Yeah.
That's
what I thought.
So
what's JLC for those that are not in the know?
Journal of Light
Journal-
Construction.
Yep.
Yep. I wish that I could have spent a day kind of just putzing around Rhode Island, to be honest with you. Really, very, very cool. Reminded me a lot of Europe. Old.
So a lot of guys in banana hammocks walking around.
Yes. Yeah. A lot of Hanses.
Yeah.
Ooh, Hans.
So it was just a good time. I went to the festival event Thursday night, which was awesome. Great time. Hung out with the guys at the bar, guys and gals that were there. When Saturday, spent the day putzing around on the floor. Got to watch Festool live. It's like a dream within a dream. It's like Festool Live Inception, right?
Jason held my stick.
I did hold a stick.
It's not the first time it's happened.
I passed my Festool Live stick to Jason.
I got to touch his stick. It was a pretty exciting moment. A lot smaller than I thought it would be.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
Oh,
not 6
yeah.
feet.
It's
the camera adds
it bends in the middle.
Yeah.
Bends in the middle.
That was a lot of fun. Got to meet up with some patrons, Mike Leiden and Steve.
Wicked cool.
That was really awesome. I got to meet another guy named Jay Kravitz, who is a connection that I made in regard to NordFab. Fantastic guy. He's helping me out because I'm going to do some slight modifications with the new shop. So went to JLC, came home, hung out with the family. And then I've just been going nuts, getting ready for this house because we were supposed to close on Monday. Obviously, that didn't work out, but we did close on Tuesday, which was good. We
Oh,
actually got
that's
money
good.
back at closing, which was a complete surprise.
Wow.
Wow.
And now we're getting our house ready, which will be on the market. We thought we were going to have a couple early showings this weekend, but those fell through. We were actually kind of hoping that somebody would come this weekend and make an offer. We don't even have to put the house on the market at all.
Yeah.
Still time, possibility that could happen. But my realtor is handling all that. But what we basically did, so my sergeant major, I delivered the desk. I did finish the desk, right? I delivered that to him on Monday, the day that we were supposed to close. And that turned out really, really good. He was very, very happy with it.
Did you tell him that this is what furniture looks like when you don't build it with Milwaukee?
Yeah. And he got to touch he got to touch the top rock.
Oh yeah.
So I loaded up all the tools I needed for the assembly because I used the connectors for it. So we basically just took all the pieces in, slapped it together real quick, attached the top and threw the cabinet underneath it. And it came out really nice. Like it's super clean. And I was like, yeah, that's a new product that just came out. How does it feel to hold a manly toolbox?
Oh my God.
But anyways, he has a 3/4 ton Sprinter van, Freightliner Sprinter van. And this thing is freaking huge. I had no idea that these things were as big as they actually are.
It's like a mini bus almost.
Oh yeah. It's like the equivalent storage capacity of like one of the mid-size, you got the small, the small U-Haul, the middle U-Haul, and then like the really big long one. This one's like equivalent to that middle-size one. At least I think. He backed into my driveway. I was like, this is insane. So he let me borrow that. And he's like, you can use it as long as you want. And I took my first load to the new house today. I packed that thing completely full in the back. We got rid of everything in the attic. We got rid of everything in our storage closets, all of the extra stuff in the closets. And I uploaded it all, downloaded it all today. And we're going to go up there this weekend, Sedge. I know that hopefully you and Marianne will come stop by and we'll go grab some wings. But I basically just put everything inside the house. And then Nicole and I are going to go up there with Leo on Saturday and probably Sunday. And we're just going to start putting that stuff away. And we're also going to take one more load up there when we go. And maybe that might be some bigger items, but our house isn't even going on the market until the 8th. So we're trying to not pull everything out because we do want some stuff to be here because I just feel like that gives a better vibe when people are going through the house. But now I'm starting to second guess that. Like, I want to use this van as much as possible and not have it for too long. So the issue is that unfortunately the van has like a pretty significant oil leak.
Oh boy.
And he didn't know and I didn't know. And so I drove it back and I parked it in the driveway and I loaded a bunch of stuff up. And then I went around to the front for some reason. I think I got a phone call or something. I was standing on the front side of the van. I looked down and there's oil spots on the driveway. And I'm like, oh crap. And I get underneath and look, and there's like, there's lots of areas where some oil is dripping. So I checked the oil level and it was just above minimum. So I called him up and I'm like, hey, I just want you to know that you have a pretty significant oil leak. And he was like, oh man, he felt really bad because, he's like, he didn't want me to worry about it. I'm like, I don't care. Do you want me to continue driving it? He's like, yeah, just keep an eye on the oil level. And so I did. I added some oil to it. Went to the new house today, backed it in the driveway. I went and bought a drip pan even. So the problem is that it's leaking. Right? And when you drive, it's like blowing the oil everywhere underneath it. It's not running out. But it's enough to cause a drip, right?
Yeah.
But the problem is it's causing drips in multiple locations. And so I bought a drip pan. Well, guess what? I get out of the car. I get out of the van. I put the oil pan down, no drips or nothing. I'm like, cool. Download everything, go inside. I'm like relaxing because I'm like just beat, dead tired at this point.
Yeah.
And I had a garage door estimate done today, which I'll talk about in a sec. But she shows up and she's like, hey, your drip pan, it's blowing. Because of course today it's like 20, 30 mile an hour winds with like 50 mile an hour gusts in Indiana. I had nothing in it. So it just blew it. And then I go, look, guess what?
Oil.
drips in the new driveway. So I went and grabbed a rock, landscaping rock,
inside it.
tossed it
Yeah.
in there.
Mhm.
But
I
I've
used
got
to
it under
put
control now.
cardboard down. I used to put cardboard down and put a piece of blue tape on there. No worries.
Yeah, I thought about doing the cardboard. I was gonna actually like cut a piece that's as wide as the wheel wells.
Mm-hmm.
So and then back up
Park
to
on it.
almost where I want to go, get out, put it in behind the wheels, and then just back up a little bit
Mhm.
to hold it down. But with as windy as it's been here lately, that's my concern. But I mean, I'll just pressure wash it off. I'm not really that worried about it. But I just thought it was funny. But the thing has been, oh my God, just so helpful. I mean, it holds a lot of stuff. But so that's going good. Every time I go back to the house, I'm more and more excited about being in the house. But there's
big,
just so
huh?
much. Oh my God, it's huge. I did
Good.
I did a tour in my stories today, room by room, and it is just insanely large. Like the closets and alone, and everyone's been commenting on the closets. Like, you have like 500 square feet in closets in that house. I'm like, I would not be surprised. That's not
so
a joke.
cool.
I would
No, but
legitimately
that's what
not
you
be
guys-
surprised.
That's
Jason,
what you
just
guys
think of all the
needed.
closets that you can come out of now.
Yeah. So many of them. But so let's talk about the shop stuff, right? So
How'd the garage door go?
it went well. It's the same company I used last time. Midwest Garage Door, hashtag not sponsored. Although I should have asked them, hey, you guys want some publicity and give me a deal?
I don't know if you know, but I'm Jason Bent.
I'm kind of a big
I'm
deal.
I'm kind of a silver.
So the last time I got it done, it's the same motor, whether it's a single door or a double door. So Sedge, I think you have the same motor I do, but you have it on the single door. I'm doing the same thing you did. I'm blocking off the 2-car
Yep.
and I'm keeping the single open.
Mm-hmm.
So she came out, did an estimate. I told her, I was like, I need the rails raised. Roughly the top of the rail needs to be roughly 10 inches off the ceiling. That'll give me plenty of room for lights.
Mm-hmm.
She was like so shocked that I was doing this. And she's like, just so you know, prices have gone up. And I'm like, yeah, I know. Like everybody keeps telling me the prices have gone up. So I should have an estimate on that tomorrow. I suspect it's probably going to be pretty much the same because she told me, she's like, the side mount motor, it's $750 installed.
Jeez.
But it's the additional rail
Mm-hmm.
expansions. It's a new spring. It's new, whatever. And then the labor. And then they're going to take down all the old stuff on the double door and just haul it away. She actually told me I should try to sell it. She's like, you'll make something off of it. It's a newer motor. So I'm thinking it'll probably be around the $1,700 mark. If it's way higher than that, I'm going to be like, I paid $750 to get the motor installed last time. What price went up? You know what I mean?
I
They're literally adding a piece of metal like yay long
I know.
and using the existing curved piece. So I can't imagine labor. Out of curiosity, I don't know if you want to share it or not, but what did you pay when you had yours done?
$1,500.
$1,500. Okay. So I think that's what mine was, but then I asked him to take off the other stuff and peg the door.
Mm-hmm.
And he basically added like $150 or something to it. He's like, I'll do it, but it wasn't part of the original request. So it was the labor for him to do all that, take the springs off, all that stuff. So that's one thing I need done. Let's talk about the epoxy flooring.
Ooh.
So I found a local guy.
I remember this now.
Yes. That was the last time we talked about it. You haven't heard what happened. So I found a local guy to do it. And we were talking. It was basically the same price that I paid last time. Matter of fact, looking at it now, it was actually cheaper. Last time I did it, I paid $4 a square foot. And the guy gave me a military discount. So $4 a square foot for my shop size was $2,400. He gave me a military discount with tax and everything. I think I paid $2,280 for a 20 by 30 shop, which if you look around the United States, apparently that's a pretty good rate. Based on a lot of conversations that I've had. So I talked to this guy and I'm like, yeah, I keep seeing your thing pop up in my neighborhood page. Let's talk about it. And then he told me the price. I'm like, well, I'll just go with the guy who I already know who's done it. And I've seen his work and my floor is still fantastic. Like it's excellent.
Yeah.
And I was like, unless I was like, I have a woodworking YouTube channel. I know a lot of local guys that would probably be interested. I get a lot of questions about the epoxy floors. I said, I could probably bring you some more business if you're willing to, work with me and do a deal. Like, I'll make sure I include you guys on the YouTube video. And he told me, he was like, I didn't want to be too upfront. But I already thought about that. He's like, I saw your channel and all that. And he's like, I just didn't want to, ask. So we talked about it, got on the phone with him. We had a great conversation, really good dude. I was like, hey, come out to the new house or come out to my shop. I'll show you what I have now and kind of what I want to do. He was talking about doing the drywall in there and everything. And because they do like whole home contracting. And so he's like, hey, I'm not going to be able to make it out to the house. I said, okay, understandable. He was on a job site, was lasting way longer. I was like, no problem, man. Well, let's just meet at my new house. So I sent him a message and I was like, I'll be at the house on Tuesday and Wednesday. He's like, I can come on Tuesday this time. Cool. Here's my address. He's like, cool. Sounds good. See you then. I had my realtor drive all the way out to this new house, which is 45 minutes away from us, open up the door to the garage just for him to come. He doesn't show up. He doesn't respond to my text, nothing. And I'm like, what's going on? Like, him and I have had these great conversations. Like, this was all in. Like, he even told me he blocked his week off this week in order to get me in to do it. And I'm like, okay, well, I guess this isn't going to happen. Right. And a couple days went by and I sent him pictures like, hey, I took pictures of the ground. I understand maybe you were busy. Haven't heard anything from him since. Crickets.
Like, I don't get that, man.
I don't either. It makes no sense to me. I get it. Maybe you got cold feet. Maybe you're too busy. Maybe you just don't care. But I mean, we like had it all settled.
This is your business, though.
Yeah.
Like he's literally taking money out of his own pocket. Like repeat or of, good word of mouth. I always get bad word of mouth.
Well, no, I'm not gonna, blast this dude on, I'm not going to talk about his company or anything like that. It's just, it's very unfortunate because like, that was the one thing I had like no stress about. So what ended up happening is I reached out to the company and I requested an estimate, which, he called me back like that night and he was like, hey man, I got your number saved in my phone. Didn't we do your garage door or floor last time? I was like, yeah, you did. And that's why I'm calling you again. And he
did a crappy job. You got to do it again.
Yeah, I know.
I'm just joking.
He's like, what do you need? You got another area you need me to do? And I'm like, yeah, I bought a new house. He's like, what? You just moved in that house 2 years ago. I was like, I know. I was like, same size. I want the same color. What is it going to be? When can you get me in? He's like, I'm booked through June, man.
Damn.
But he was like, I've already done one for you. He's like, I'll get you in. When do you need it by? I'm like, the 20th at the absolute latest. And he was like, no problem. I'll get you in. He called me today and was like, hey man, I just had a cancellation for the 5th. Can I get in? I'm like, yep.
Oh, sure cool.
It did go up in price a little bit. It's he's charging me like, I think 450 I think 450 a foot.
Did they have to etch your last garage?
I don't think they did. I wasn't there. He did it before I even moved up here.
Mm.
And I won't be there for this one unless I can duck out of work, drive up there real quick. I want to get a little bit of footage, but it just depends on what time he's doing it. I'll just give him the code to the garage like I did last time and have him go in there and have at it. And he'll have it done in a day.
They do it in a day, huh?
He's doing 2 a day right now.
Woo!
He must have a lot more crew now.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, you guys have seen my garage floor.
Yeah,
Yes.
I mean,
Perfect.
even now,
it was incredible.
There are no scuff marks. There's no, I mean, granted, because you don't really do any woodworking in there, but
right.
That's besides the
It's
point.
a show shop.
Yeah, I mean, it's a studio.
Um,
No, it looks great, man. Even a couple years later, especially with all the heavy equipment you got.
Studio.
Yeah,
It's a studio.
I'm tomorrow.
That's what the people on the YouTube say.
Yeah.
They call it. They said this is Festool Studios.
I was
They
worried
have
about the electrical.
contempt for content.
This is correct.
I was worried about the electrical. I'm using the same electrician I used last time, and that Sedge has also used. But he sent me a message today. Like everything kind of came together for the shop today.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I had the
Good.
garage door, the electrical's coming tomorrow, next Tuesday, I think it is, Tuesday or Wednesday. The floors are getting done. We're going to do drywall and paint, you know, here relatively soon. But one of the things Sedge I'm going to talk to, Sedge is going to help me do the drywall. I only have to buy like 8 sheets of drywall.
For the shop?
Yeah.
What needs to be drywall?
The exterior wall facing the neighbor, the wall that the garage doors are on. So just a couple patches in between the main joists for the garage doors. And then one panel on the wall touching the house. Everything else is already done and insulated.
And then obviously you're still got to get the green lights put in, right?
Yes. Another thing that today, shot a note over to Jim. I already sent him my stuff a couple weeks ago, but sent him a note today and I was like, hey, just wanted to check in, just closed on the house. He said he has a couple tweaks he has to make and he's going to send me over the final product to show me all the lighting and what his recommendation would be and all that. So
I need to send him a message because I sent him my SketchUp of my basement. That was like in December, and I've literally never heard back from him.
Yeah, shoot him a message. It's hit or miss. I think he's the guy that does everything.
I think so too.
I really do, because there's been times where our communication has been very quick, and then there's been times where, you know, it is a little drawn out, and I think it's almost just a reminder because he has so many clients that he's working with. But I honestly believe he's doing it on his own.
That's crazy, man.
It is crazy because I know a lot of people are using his lights.
He's the CEO, isn't he?
Yep. And he gets on the
Crazy.
phone. He got on the phone with me for about half hour, 45 minutes. I was so impressed. The next thing I know, I had the whole schematic, and then I just talked to him about cost. What a great guy.
Yeah.
I am that is probably that and the Mr. Cool, the top 2 upgrades of the shop.
To
The
me,
garage
it's worth
door
it.
was like, yep.
Yeah, it's worth it. It's
every
worth,
penny.
Yeah,
every
it's
single
worth
penny.
the time that it might take to get stuff sorted out, because I have the lights in my shop. I know what they're capable of and I know what they provide for me. And at the end of the day, if this didn't work out, I would literally just rip out every light in my garage and the next owner would not have them. And I would just take them with me. I don't want to do that. I think that that's going to be a very enticing thing for a new buyer. Regardless of what they're using the garage for. You know, imagine walking out, flipping on your light and having perfect visibility, not the dingy, crappy lights that traditionally go in a garage. But anyways, that's what I've been up to. Just very stressed and overwhelmed with lots of stuff.
Well, you just need to get your life together, Jason.
Yeah. Between like work, the business, the shop, regular life, it's all every day at some point. Like there was very big highs today and like I felt really good. And there was other times where I'm just like, God, oh my, like I can't. I was telling this to Nicole at dinner. Here's how my brain works. I was standing in the house and I did this in the shop the other day. I stood there for like 30 minutes, literally just looking around going, I have to move all of this. Like just the lumber alone, I'm not looking forward to. That's not even including the tools. All of the lumber, like that alone is going to be a nightmare. And I know I'm going to have help. And I know there's going to be lots of people here and I know it'll go fast. But when you were doing, like I was doing it all by myself today, all I could think about is doing it all by myself. And I was standing looking at the stairwell because our stairwell goes up, turns, and then goes back up the other direction. I stood there for 5 minutes going, how the hell are we going to get our mattress up there? Like how are we going to get our mattress?
Like not even something that needs to be decided right now. And you're sitting there thinking about it.
Nope. That's like couple weeks from now.
You're like a woman, Jason.
The problem. Okay. So the reason I'm worried about it is because I think about like the heaviness of these things. We have a Tempur-Pedic mattress. Those things are freaking heavy.
Mm-hmm. And they're not
easy to carry.
It's like trying to pick up a stack of tortillas. You know, they just like.
Yeah. You know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to put it on Sedge's back and let him walk up the stairs with it.
No worries. They got it covered.
So hopefully we'll, I think what we're going to do, it depends on obviously the closing date, but it should be sometime the week of like the 9th of May when whoever buys this house will close on it. That's the plan. So the weekend after Easter, which is the weekend before Sedge, you go to Texas.
So I won't have to do any work whenever I come.
What's that?
What you're saying?
Yeah, I'm going.
I won't have to do any work when I come.
Yeah. So you're going at the end. You're going the last weekend of April.
Yeah, I'm going. Yep, the 26th, 27th, 28th, 29th. I'll be in Austin.
So
at Rubio.
Our plan.
And Austin School of Furniture.
Oh, nice.
Awesome.
Oh, yeah. Really looking forward to a shop talk there.
Our plan is that will be the final weekend for the house, not the garage, but the house, and possibly start the garage that weekend. And then the absolute latest, if I get everything done in the garage before this, then I'm just going to start moving the garage early. But as soon as the showings are over, we're just going to start taking everything that we absolutely don't need, the table, the chairs, the desks, all that stuff. We just need one table, a couch. We're just getting rid of all of it. And then that'll be like the last time where I actually need a lot of help. And hey, we got to move this bed. We got to move this mattress. We got to move this. We got to move that. And then obviously there'll be a shop day, hopefully the first weekend in May. And then we're done. Anyway, that was really long.
Well, I want my room to be ready by the time I come.
When are you coming?
It'll be the last week in May.
Oh yeah, I'll probably remodel the whole house by last week in May.
It'll be like the 22nd or 23rd or something like that.
Yeah. I'll be there. I'll be out of town. Sedge and I are going somewhere. Sorry.
That's fine. Me and Leo can hang out.
Yeah, you can come hang out with Leo and Nicole.
You and Hans.
So Sedge, now that Ben and I have both blabbed.
Now that we're 45 minutes in.
Yeah,
Sedge, what have you been up to?
We don't have a topic for this week, so this is our topic. No. We're all getting caught up.
I know.
Nothing.
That's
okay,
it.
Now
you're not going to extrapolate on anything?
Did you say strap on?
That's what he said.
Get your mind out of the gutter, man.
What?
You're so naughty.
Naughty but nice. Okay, so what have I been up to? Well, I missed last week's podcast because I was in Providence, Rhode Island.
Wah, wah, wah.
But it was a good thing. I had to fly in on Tuesday. Well, actually drive in. I drove over because I had to bring my stick. They wouldn't allow that on the airplane. So I drove over Monday and Tuesday. I don't think I'll do that again. I do. That's why I was telling everybody, you drove? I go, yeah, I had to bring the stick. So, and I'll tell you what, the drive home was hellacious because I drove home from Maine. I did 10 hours yesterday, stopped in Buffalo. I sent you pictures of those wingies. And then I drove home today. I'm exhausted right now, but what a great time. So out of the 9 days I was on the road, are you ready? 8 of the days I had wingies.
Holy
cow. Great. I gotta get a
New Year's resolution.
I gotta get my cholesterol checked pretty soon, dude.
Sure you do. The doctor's gonna look at the report. There's gonna be like a little chicken wing symbol on it.
Oh my God, what a great time. So there were some really cool highlights. I mean, unbelievable highlights. And I'll just go over a couple if that's cool.
Absolutely.
So I did a festival shop talk at Nick Schiffer's shop with him and his crew.
I didn't meet him.
And it just posted and it was awesome. And it was like Nick comes running out of his office, jumps on me, gives me a big hug and goes, "What are we doing today?" I go, "I don't know." He goes, and at the end of the shop talk, which I think is one of our best ones, Nick looks at me, goes, "Okay, now it's your turn." And he didn't put me on the spot, but he goes, "Do you know what we're doing?" I go, "No." And the tools that we sent him, we did an unboxing and I did a training with him and his guys.
I saw
and he posted it the next. And you know what? We just had a fun time. It was like that Wednesday we did that was wicked. And then we had a set up for the event that we had on Thursday. Ben, at the beginning of before we went on, you would ask me how was it. I would say it was okay. For me, sometimes it's just a blur because I'm working the whole thing, the setup. And then it's
such different whenever you're going for work.
Work versus pleasure. Yeah.
You guys see it a different way because you're absorbing all of it you're absorbing the product.
Mm-hmm.
I'm producing a product, and it went really, really well. It was a great venue. We gave away $2,000 shopping spree. I made a joke and I said, yeah, that's a domino and a dust extractor. And guess what? When you add it up, it pretty much is.
Right.
Right. But
I would have ordered all Granat sandpaper.
You know how I calculated the evening? Everybody was smiling. That's all that matters to me, is making sure everybody is happy, making sure everybody is engaged. And we showed all the new tools. So, but it was a lot of work. And then when everybody booked, we had to pack everything up.
Mm-hmm.
So my entire week was after the show.
We
hung out at Murphy's, and I got a chance to really have a nice conversation with Jess, with Keith, with Zach from Keith from KJ Sawdust. We hung out for a while. Zach from ZK Painting. We hung out for a while and had some really great conversations at Murphy's. Everybody was there. And here's the thing. I go to bed early. Did we close down the bar, Jason?
Yes, we did. We did
unreal.
The first night. They kicked us out.
And then I had to wake up the next day and do JLC demo all day, but we had a festival live from there. Derek and Chris made sure it went smooth. Worked all day Saturday at the US Tool and Fastener. It was a blur. It was just really great to see. And I'll tell everybody listening to the podcast, it seemed like a little bit of normal again. Everybody was coming out of their houses. All the people I didn't see last August were out and about. Everybody was happy. Everybody was smiling. It was packed on Friday. So it's kind of like almost pre-pandemic levels for crowd size. Not quite, but almost there. And we were steady. We were in the US Tool and Fastener booth, sold a boatload of tools. And then that night I went out. I met you at where did I meet you at? Oh, at Blake's, and had
Blake's.
An incredible. And here's another great highlight: Michael Leiden and I, we got to talk a lot. He was at dinner with us, with Ronnie Fulton, Jason, myself, and
Jay,
Norfab guy. You just said it,
Jay.
Jay, thank you. Jay, thank you. That was great meeting you. Great shooting a BS with you. Thank you for everything. But hanging out with Michael Leiden and everybody, what a great time. And for me, it's all about the people. I think you can tell that when I talk about stuff. It's all about the people. And then I got out of there early and went home to Maine. Drove up there and spent 2 days with my sister, and drove home for 2 days. And here I am tonight. Got in about 1:30 this afternoon. I'm exhausted.
Wow.
Just in time to make it with the boys.
Yeah. And that was my goal. And Mary Ann didn't want to go get wings tonight, so I was okay with that. But man, when I stopped in Buffalo last night, I sent you pictures of those Duff's wings.
Oh, so those were like legit
with
buffalo wings.
Dude, legit. I stopped there on the way, and I stopped on the way back. I think they know me now.
Were they better than Ale Emporium?
Man,
those are good wings.
No.
Okay.
But
I was about to say those are some good wings.
But they were traditional buffalo with the breading and dipped and tossed in that hot sauce. That was off the hook good. So my mouth's watering right now. I could go for 20 right now, dude. They were so good.
You'll get some this weekend.
Okay, cool.
Not that company, but you'll get some.
So I get home, And look what Sedge he had in the mail.
So right now,
Oh.
Sedge is holding a
Hey.
buffalo wing basket.
No,
He's
no.
full.
I'm excited because on Sedge Tool, I'll probably do a video this weekend on it. This is the Bridge City Toolworks mini block plane. And I'm really stoked about it because it's got an all aluminum sole. And
Do you need me to sharpen it for you?
I broke it out of the box and I tested the blade right away. It's got a killer design to it. There's some really unique features. What you see online doesn't do it any justice. I'm really stoked to review it this weekend and do a video because I'm pretty damn impressed. I did a couple swipes. Unbelievable. And the blade was wicked sharp out of the box. So I'll just do a couple laps on the strop and get it up to speed. And the shavings I got off right away it's got a Norris adjust on it. It's wicked.
I mean, I'm happy to sharpen it for you. I'm pretty much an expert. I know a guy who owns a Tormek.
Whatever. Let's see. Okay, can I make an announcement real quick?
Of course.
Okay, so
I'm pretty sure everybody already knows.
nope, you don't know this.
Oh,
This
okay.
is really, really cool because while I was away, he reached out to me, and then I corrected him today because he's having a meetup here in Indianapolis. Him and another gentleman. You can go to his his Instagram, Indie Urban Hardwood. It's on Tuesday, April 19th, 30 to 9. Everybody who's local. They're talking about resaw wood. He's got another resaw in there, another lumber guy. I forget his name, but go see the post on Brian's his Instagram. It's going to be pretty cool. I'm heading down with Big D and Chris. We're going to head down for it. I'm pretty excited. I don't know if you wanted to come, Jason. I know how busy you are.
April 19th.
But he had it Thursday. Yeah, he had it Thursday, April 19th, but he said April 19th. And I said, hey, Brian, I think you mean Tuesday. He goes, dude, I just corrected it. Thanks. But he's just such a nice guy, and he's trying to get everybody he's a good networker. So I think we'll have a good turnout. I just wanted to make that announcement. So, yes, even though I was away, I had a lot going on.
Just a little bit.
So, yeah, it's just, I don't know about you guys, but I have a wicked cool sister. And my brother-in-law, I see him when I get to the door. He goes, I'm only 9 months away from 90. He's like this little French guy. And he's like, I call him Iron Man because he's always been like shredded and ripped my whole life knowing him. He's just such a tough little guy. And I love him to tears, but I can't believe he's going to be 80 next year.
Damn.
God.
That's crazy.
I know. And and he had a quadruple bypass or whatever a few years ago. He looks younger now. And I got the world's best sister. So you know what I did the whole time I was there? Just hung out with them. Just chilled, shot the general BS, and just was around family. And it's just such a good feeling to know that they're always there.
Yeah.
It's cool. And he goes, so the whole time he was going, I told him about green suitors. And he goes, I don't know what the frick a podcast is. So every time I would say something, the whole time he goes, that'd be a good topic for a podcast. He goes, you can talk about that on the podcast. Podcast, brother.
It's a recorded radio show. That's what it is.
Oh,
I did
God.
have a couple people come up to me at JLC, introduce themselves, which was pretty cool. And they like the podcast a lot.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Glad to hear it.
I'll probably
Warm.
get complaints tonight because we didn't have a topic. Well, listen, everybody. We have not all been together for 2 weeks. 3 weeks. No, 2 weeks. And we just wanted to get caught up. We've been very busy.
Yep.
And we're just three
we-
dudes sitting
We
in a shop.
usually talk more than we
talking.
have in the last 2 weeks, but we've all been really busy. So
Yeah.
this is our first chance to chit chat.
Ben's getting too big for us. So he's not.
I really needed to hang out with you guys tonight. Thanks, man.
Well,
I did too.
While we're at this, okay, everybody, look. Jason's got a new house, okay, and he needs a new helipad for the helicopter. And, patrons, I'm looking at the Patreon page, and there's a couple of you guys that are at the low tier. There's a couple $1 tier guys out there. And all I'm going to say is that helicopter is not going to land itself. Okay. Jason can't mar up the new backyard. So
True.
unless you want to start seeing like Jason getting yelled at by his German wife about the skids tearing up the backyard, then we gotta step our game up. So we got to get this. We got to get the helipad put in the backyard, and we have to get it epoxied. So
yeah,
that's all I'm
do
gonna
have a
say
question. I have a question about Patreon. I see that our numbers keep rising over there, which is great. It's probably because of the beers with the boys. Have you noticed lately people dropping off?
Yeah, so a couple people had to leave just because their financial situation changed, or at least that's what it said on their exit survey.
Yeah, no, I'm only asking because I've had a couple people recently, and it was like one or two or three, and they, I find it funny. Some, they wrote me messages and they're like, "Hey, I just want to let you know that I had to cancel this." And I always feel bad that they feel like they need to do that. I just appreciate any support from anybody, right?
Yeah.
But all of them had to do with, a lot of it had to do with like gas prices rising and everything else. And I'm like, it's a good point. I filled up my tank today. It was like $90.
Man.
Oh, get this. The van that I'm using, I'm not looking forward to the day that I have to fill that thing up.
How big's a gallon, or how big's a tank?
It's like 30 something. And it's diesel.
God.
Hey guys,
$5 a gallon.
Guys, does natural gas have lumps? I'll be right back.
I see what he did there. He sharded.
Oh man.
Old people.
What is it? What does they need? They need prune juice. Isn't that what it is?
Yeah.
Helps keep me. I need my fiber. Helps keep me regular.
You know what? I went and purchased the other day. I went and bought like 9 or 10 of those like HDX plastic containers, that you can like stack on top of each other.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I'm gonna move a ton of my stuff in this time.
Yeah. But no, it's yeah. I mean the numbers always kind of fluctuate. People leave, new people come in. I mean, it's been holding as far as our numbers go. It's been holding out for the last 3 months or so.
Yeah, I mean, I would assume it would be the same. Some people come on. I've had exit surveys. I've actually been trying to be a little bit more active on Patreon. It's just so hard, man. Like I want to figure something out to where I can just have one place for everybody to go. Because the more different apps and stuff that you use. I was talking to Steve about this. He was telling me, I actually wanted to get everybody's Instagram handles so I could create a separate Instagram group of just patrons, and we can all just BS on there because that's fun, right? Everybody can talk to each other. Not everybody has not everybody has Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
So then it's like, okay, well, he had mentioned, why don't you use a Discord server and do like chat rooms? And I'm like, that's great, but now it's again another platform that they have to go off of. Yeah. And I'm just using Patreon to post about it. I really need to look more into how I can incorporate it into my website.
Yeah, because there is a members only area.
There is, but it doesn't give you the afford you the opportunity to do everything, right? Like,
yeah, at the end of the day, it's gonna have to be somewhere. Like it, regardless of
fans.
Yeah, I like that. It's a good one.
Feet Finder, regardless of where it's at. Like there's going to be a little bit of a gateway that people are going to have to go through. I mean, I
would just love it to be on the website because then you could do so many other things there. You know what I mean?
I mean, it is what it is at this point.
Speaking of the website, I read the article. It's very good.
Thank you. I have another one that I've had.
I don't like that you put a Ryobi track saw in it, but whatever. I'm just kidding. I thought it was great the way that you did that. Like that was a really valid point.
Yeah.
If you guys haven't seen the website, go to benswoodoregon.com and check out the latest article that Ben published on my website. It's great.
But the next article that I'm gonna put up is it's not any of the other two that we had talked about. It's something different. It's pretty much the 5 places that I always check to get Festool if you can't get them new, because right now some people are still having trouble.
Great topic.
Yeah.
I just sent a whole list of websites to one of my patrons the other day because he was asking.
Yeah. So
Great topic.
These are all 5 that I personally use. Or I wouldn't say they're websites, they're just methods that I personally use. I mean, I think that I would have to go downstairs and add it up, but I want to say that almost more than half of the Festool's tools that I have, I purchase used, and all of them, I've never had.
I steal all mine from Sedge's shop, and then he asked to borrow them.
You just put a couple pallets of wings like in the corner. And he goes and like
Someone say wings.
That's when you pocket.
I stole a Conturo from Sedge, and then he asked to borrow.
I like Westel to get tools.
All right, Sedge, this is your annual review here at Festool. We see that you have requested to switch your method of payment to wings.
I couldn't afford him wings.
Marianne calls you the next day. Why is there 50,000
Oh my God.
wings on our frozen wings on our doorstep?
My God.
It's my annual payment.
I went to Maine Brewing Company and I said, how much when I get all my stuff? And they go, $276. I went,
Oh, you brought back a bunch of beer.
I bought back, well, my sister didn't come with me, so I got her a case of Spring. It's a really good IPA. But I got a case of lunch and a case of dinner.
That's how NASCAR got started.
You only got one case of each? How much is it a case?
12.
And you owe $200?
Uh-huh. Have you ever had lunch?
Yeah, we had it at Ale Emporium in Indy.
Have you ever had dinner?
Yeah. No. I've only had lunch.
Unbelievable.
They're $100 for a 12-pack?
Well, no, not. Well, yeah, no, like 85.
What?
Plus tax? Yeah, sure.
Man, I thought you were going to come back and bring like 20 cases of each.
Nah, I just, it was cool.
Save 10 of each of them for me.
Okay. No worries. We're gonna have a few beers. Such good beer.
I'll have a couple of beers at the new house this weekend.
Lunch.
Oh, you're drinking it now. You should be drinking dinner.
No, I just had a couple tonight. Just said, you know what? I got to go back to work tomorrow. I'm still on PTO. I got to get primed.
Yeah.
Go back to work.
Got to get ready to do that Festool live.
Doing a great one, man, this week. Doing it on the Top Rock.
Top Rock. Did you see our stories of us jamming out to the Top Rock, some Coulter Wall in the streets?
Oh yeah.
Did you order like a boombox?
Yeah. I didn't, but yes, we did.
That's funny.
It was great.
Anyway. You know what? It was just great hanging out with everybody that night at Murphy's.
Yeah, it was fun.
Is Eric gorgeous? Like the coolest dude ever?
He is, man. I'm looking forward to seeing him on my trip.
He's just so laid back. He's just so down to earth. And It was really nice. It was really nice hanging out with Jess. She came all the way from Alaska to hang out. It was great.
I am growing more and more of a fan of hanging out with Ronnie Fulton.
Me too.
He's fun.
Me too. Freaking love that guy.
He's a character. He's a wild man.
He's a hoot, man.
The last two Workbench cons, I literally spent every day, the majority of the time with him. And I spent the entire time, even after Eric left. And even when Eric was there, it was me, Eric, and Ronnie while you were working the booth. But I just love that dude. He's so
Yeah,
awesome.
and sometimes like I was talking with Keith Johnson, I barely said hi to him at Workbench Con, but then I sat down at the bar with him at Murphy's. He came over and the seat was vacant for a minute. He jumped in and we just shot the general BS. What a great dude.
Yeah.
You know, and just hanging out with everybody and looking around and seeing everybody smiling. That's what makes a difference to me.
Yeah.
It's just great to see people happy, and hanging out and being friends.
Jason, did you tell Sedge about our idea for the podcast whenever I'm on my trip?
I don't know if I talked to
Ooh.
Sedge about it yet. Maybe I did.
You talked to Eric?
I know I talked to Eric. He's totally down for it. The problem is that it's a weekday.
Mm-hmm.
So Sedge, Ben had an idea. We kind of talked about it. When he does that trip that me and you basically would go up there for that evening, and we would actually record the podcast live with him. He would be our guest.
Yep. Let's do it.
I'll have to know the exact date, Ben, and see if I can.
Yeah, and would it be a Tuesday or Wednesday?
It would be
the 18th.
For some reason,
18th of what?
Of May.
May.
I think that's a Wednesday.
That's a Wednesday.
Yep. I have to do Festival Friday, but I'm on it. We get back Thursday. I'm on it.
That it might be hard for me because that's going to be a tough one for me to swing because it's in the middle of a week.
And don't forget that.
See, I got so much.
I'm coming to Indy on the 23rd, which is a Monday.
Well, that's fine. You'll be here.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. If we can't do it with Eric, then we can record it at your place. But that's going to be on a Monday.
At the new house.
Oh, man, I'm so stoked I'm so stoked you're going to be here. Yeah, Festival Friday on the 20th is on the 20th. Yeah, that'll be cool. Yeah. So I did have a few people reach out to me during JLC, and they love the Green Suiters podcast. They love us just shooting the general BS and just hanging out and talking woodworking and about life. And sometimes people think, oh man, I'm a little overwhelmed or I'm a little stressed. Yeah, we all are, dude. And when we talk about it and people go, oh, they're listening in their shops or they're listening driving to work going, oh, I'm not the only one. So let's just keep doing what we're doing, because I couldn't wait to get out here tonight and shoot the general BS with you guys. I haven't seen you.
I think it would be a disservice to sit here and like try to put on a front. If we're like just in a low point or something like that. Obviously, no one wants to listen to an hour and 13 minutes of three older dudes with depression. Like it's well, the sun came up again today, guys. I don't know.
There's the pussycat.
Yeah.
I'll tell everybody, I've been more stressed over the past 3 months than I've ever been in my entire life.
I was about 3 or 4 weeks ago, I was pretty stressed, which is why I stopped doing daily uploads for the podcast. But yeah,
hey,
we like to keep it real.
Life
here.
It's life, maybe. It's life. That's what I tell people.
It's the ebb and
flow. It's how you handle it.
Yeah.
Too cool.
Are we doing everything for me?
Hey, no worries. I'm there. Mr. Drywall, Mr. Sharpener. I'm all over it. Hey, are we doing it? Are we doing any Get Bent tonight?
I don't have any.
In the spirit of this podcast, I have one, and that's really all I have. I spent like 5 minutes scrolling through comments I haven't answered.
The only reason I wanted to do it is because I want to hear Hans.
Guys, today I was thinking about how we're going to be recording the podcast tonight, and I thought that perhaps, maybe we are so established now that we need like a theme music to announce.
Oh, I
So-
think so.
So I thought about like a little jingle, or as the Germans call it, a jingle.
Is that what they call it, Hans? A yingle?
It's called a jingle
A-
because
A dingo.
the J is, it's a ya sound, like jawohl.
Jawohl.
But I couldn't really come up with one. I thought like it's time for the hatreds, but that was it. So
No.
Hans doesn't know how to carry a rhythm or anything. He just knows how to make the bratwurst that explode in your mouth. But anyways, sorry, I digresses. Jason, the word on the street is that you have some hatred for us tonight. Would you care to share it with all of us?
I do. I have one. And this is from my Festool Domino comparison video. Let me get ready for this one. This one says, way overpriced, not worth the several $1,000s for what it does. And before you say, yeah, but $1,500 isn't several thousand, that's US dollars. I don't live in the US, so for me, it's several. There's plenty of much cheaper and different ways to join.
Okay, never in my YouTube lifespan have I ever heard someone wedge in exchange rates into a comment. Like, what?
Yeah, why are you yelling at me for your country's expensive rates on things? What's up with
Do you
that?
know how many bloody pounds that is over here?
Yeah. Easy, Gary.
Hang on, I'm pretty sure I can do a good Gary. Jason, do you know how many pounds that is over here?
Yeah.
That was good.
That was a pretty good Gary.
I need like the trucker microphone. That's what Gary uses on the Beers of the Boys segment.
The trucker mic.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh,
Exchange
Ben,
rates. Yes.
next time you should pretend like you're a trucker when you read a negative comment. You kind of do though already. That country voice. That's just how I picture a trucker.
What I need one of them big old tall boy hats. You know, the mesh hats, mesh baseball caps.
Yeah.
Be trucker hat.
Nice little flannel cutoff right here. I'm telling you, buddy. I can bring the heat.
I'll tell you what.
I'm gonna bring that heat now.
Core Light. You got any Core Light in the bottle?
Oh, you know this.
Corlat.
This
Core Light
reminds
in
me,
the
Jason.
bottle?
My first deployment, we had these. I'm guessing it was a National Guard unit or a reserve unit that they were their sole purpose during our deployment was they were like a movement unit, right? There's just a whole bunch of HETs and HEMETs and stuff like that, and so their entire task was to move supplies from BIOP, Baghdad International Airport, along this one main supply route to just like all these other different camps around.
Right.
And so they were never briefed that they had to do this, but every time they got close to our cop, they would jump on our frequency to get like a radio check or something like that. This is what we heard every single time they came by. Gatorman, this Bulldog 19 radio check over. Gatorman, this Bulldog 19. Gatorman, this Bulldog 19. Give me a radio check, please. And so all I could imagine was this dude from Alabama with like an old school Vietnam flat jacket on and like a Kevlar trucker hat, pulling down his mic on his big rig. Gatorman, this Bulldog 19. And like we look at our commander and they're like, why do they always do this? Why do they
Yeah.
always do
That is fantastic.
No one told them to do this. Oh man.
Good times.
Good times.
Well, boys, I have some electrical.
Shut up, Siri.
I
Shut
have some
up.
electrical layout that I need to finish up on my SketchUp model for tomorrow.
Mm. Well,
I say
gentlemen,
we wrap this one up.
I say we roll out. Like
Oh,
Bulldog
hold on.
1-9er. Yeah.
Sorry, everybody. There's no giveaway for April,
Yes.
but we will be announcing the winner of March soon.
But
Today is still March.
everyone that won over the last 3 months should have already gotten their stuff. We just wanted to thank Bessie for pitching in
Yes.
for the giveaway
sure.
for the last 3 months.
Yeah,
I know
we're going to
that,
try to work on bringing another company on board for the next quarter.
Yep.
Switch it up a bit.
I wonder if we should ask if there's like a company that people would love for us to try to.
I can tell
out
you,
there.
let's see if we can get some feedback from the audience. So there's 3 that I have in mind. I can't make any promises. TSO is one.
Mm-hmm.
Bits and Bits is another.
And Ferrari.
US Tool and Fastener.
Ooh.
That'd be a good one. I think you still Fastener would be a good one.
And we're just going to give away a bunch of Capexes. That's a lie. That's not going to happen.
You heard
just
it.
so
You heard it here first, folks.
just so you know, the plural of Capex is Capi.
Okay.
So it's not Capexes, it's Capi.
Is that on?
We're gonna-
Is that
We're
official?
going
Is
to
that
get
on
some
y'all's?
K-Pie.
Is that on your the slides at Festool when you guys
Yes.
talk about numbers?
Yeah,
All right.
everybody goes, look at they come out in the warehouse. Look at all the Capexes. And I go, no, that's Capi.
Duh.
Duh.
KPCs.
Retards.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to find Jason, you can find him at Bent's Woodworking and more on Instagram and YouTube. If you want to find Sedge, he's Sedge Tool on everything, and also Sedge Festool, Sedge something.
Whatever.
You can find me Ben Marshall Designs on Instagram, YouTube, and Marshall Design Works. I have lots of articles that are up on Jason's website, all different kinds of articles. You
Read
should go
them.
check them out,
And while you're there, buy some plans. Thank you.
or some merch,
Or some merch.
But,
Merch.
thank you, everyone that is listening. Hope you all have a great weekend.
Merry
whenever you're listening
Christmas,
to this.
everybody.
Merry Christmas,
Merry
2023.
Christmas.
It's coming. All right, bye, everybody.
All right. Later.
Bye.